Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. I am very honored that I can talk to all of you today about a very important topic for me, which is happiness. I am aware that especially in times like this, when everything seems so overwhelming and depressing, it is very difficult to understand what actually is happiness and even more difficult to find one. Why? Because in most of the cases, we try to find happiness in extraordinary circumstances, while actually, key to happiness is in small details. Because how can you really appreciate something truly amazing when you can't appreciate smallest things? How can you truly appreciate good coffee when you don't appreciate you're drinking one in the first place? I know it may sound like a funny example, but a few days ago, coffee machine in my house broke and I couldn't have one for the whole day, and that taught me to appreciate the fact that I can have coffee the second I wake up. And also, at the beginning, I would like to point out that everything I'm going to say is my personal opinion, and I don't expect any of you to agree with me. However, I thought it's something worth sharing. So, what is happiness? What is the definition of this word? In order to find one, I did a small online research, and my results were really shocking. According to Oxford Dictionary, happiness is the state of being satisfied that something is good or right. Is that really a good definition? On the other hand, Cambridge Dictionary states that it's a feeling of being pleased or happy. What really surprised me was the fact that those definitions were so short. They weren't detailed, only general. Moreover, I thought, can we all submit to one of those definitions? The answer is very simple, no. Everyone has a different meaning of happiness. Various things, behaviors, etc. make different people happy. Everyone has a different feeling of happiness. But we all have one thing in common. Every one of us is aiming to achieve happiness one day. We all have different goals in life. However, for most of us, happiness is one of them. I think it's a right place where I can give you a few examples. I asked a few of my friends what is happiness for them, and I received different answers. For example, the smile on the face of someone who I care about, feeling good about myself and my surrounding, accepting myself in the way I am and appreciating every second of my life by always being present. Those examples are a good proof that we cannot all submit to one of the above definitions. However, they are somehow connected. Another aspect worth mentioning is where does happiness come from and how do we achieve it? During quarantine, I tried to find my happiness in ordinary things. For example, reading has always been my great passion, and I decided to spend more time on it. So I ordered a book written by Victor Frankl, who was an Auschwitz prisoner during the Second World War. Man's Search for Meaning is a psychological novel about what is really important in life and what is the meaning of our existence. There's one specific paragraph that drew my attention. It says, "You cannot strive for success, just as you cannot strive for happiness. It must come to you as a result of your engagement in something greater and more important than yourself. It will come as a result of devotion to another man. Happiness will just come to you itself. That's what truly makes a man happy, devotion to another man, helping others, even just talking and listening to what other person has to say. I think it's not about doing something, but about being there for another person. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, as the Bible says." To finish, I have a very short story to tell you. Every Thursday during tea time, me and my friends organize a tutoria meetings for first form girls in Isabela. And as we were getting closer to Valentine's Day, we thought that love would be a great topic of our next meeting. So we asked the girls, how have they experienced love? And one of them answered in the most simple, but also most beautiful way. She said that once there was a flood and her mom couldn't drive back to house. So she took her out of the car and carried her all the way back so she wouldn't get wet. And she summarized this story by saying, "Love for me is simple." And that's the key for me. I try to make everything simple. I stop looking for things more exciting, more beautiful, more extraordinary. Because sometimes when I look further and further, I miss on what's in front of my nose. Beautiful sunsets, A nice gesture from a member of my family. Interesting online lesson, tasty lunch, sunny day, a smile from a stranger. Anything. Remember about appreciating small things. Thank you.